In this video, I'll talk about marriage green card interviews being waived. I'll talk about N400 interviews being waived. I'll talk about I-765 employment-based interviews being waived. Hello, my name is Bijou Ngwanda. I am a U.S. immigration attorney in the DC metropolitan area. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so we have been hearing a lot of news, great news, of course. There is no, let me just say this, there's no official government policy about those interviews being waived. However, people have been getting their approval notices via mail saying that they just get their green card or their application have been approved without doing a specific interview. We all know that back in April, those I-765 employment-based application where interviews were being waived due to COVID-19 guidance. I guess the government was, because of those shutdown that was going on, in-person interview couldn't take place, and the system wasn't in place to actually make sure that those people will be accommodated to those immigration services offices. So I guess that's why those employment-based application interviews were being waived back then. So now we're seeing a trend about those marriage green card interview being waived, and people are wondering whether this is just a policy, this is law now. Now we can just get a green card without interview. I'm here to answer those questions. First and foremost, we're gonna say this. There is no announcement, no U.S. government policy as far as waiving all those interviews altogether. But what we have noticed is, what we have noticed with certain cases, those interviews are being waived. My guess is just because of those green cards being conditional green cards. And maybe they're saying like, okay, let me give those people the green card, and then once it's gonna come upon a time that you have to go to renew your green card because it was a conditional green card, then they're gonna get you to this interview, because they can't just waive the interview altogether without any policy or any specific law in place. Okay, what we're seeing military personnel, couples, like people in the Navy, people in the military, those type of marriages, like let's say a U.S. citizen who is in the military got married, and then the spouse applied for the green card. At that point, they got approved, and their notice of approval, they can see it actually online, and then they got their green card via mail. So what's going to happen in those type of cases? What's going to happen is, because marriages, as we know it, you have a green card, conditional green card for a period of time, and once you go there to renew your green card, and usually they will ask you questions as far as to just know the validity of your marriage. At that point, you will get an interview, unless there is a policy in place just stopping those interview altogether, like waiving those interview altogether. But just remember that because you got your green card in the mail without an interview, it doesn't mean that you will never get an interview. There is no such policy in place as of yet. Okay, so my guess is just that you are getting your interview being waived due to those COVID-19 guidance. Offices were closed, now it's just starting to open, and the accommodation, and they have to get used to all that accommodation, CDC guidelines, they have to comply, and in order to and they have a lot of cases, and in order to take those in-person interview, it's gonna take time. And now that your green card is conditional, maybe they're saying, let's just give you the green card now, but at the time of renewal, when you go to the office, when it's time to renew your green card, that's when you're gonna get your interview. Just keep that in the back of the mind because it's not definitive yet. Okay, we have those fiancé visa as well, green card based on fiancé visa. Let's say you're outside of the United States, and then your husband or your spouse or your wife is the person who's petitioning for you, not husband and wife yet, but still they're going to become your husband or your wife later on in the process. What's going to happen is you get your fiancé visa, and we all know it's 90 days after you have gotten your fiancé visa to apply for a green card. Then you get your green card. So those fiancé visa applications, interviews have, like the green card interview part of it is are being waived as well, because you get here 90 days, you get married, you apply for a green card, you get it. But remember, it's conditional as well. Maybe that's my guess. Maybe that's why it's being waived, because it's conditional. At the time you're gonna go ahead and renew it, that's when you're gonna get your interview, because those interviews, just remember, are not going to be waived altogether. My guess, really, because there's no policy in place, there's no law waiving all those interviews altogether, we can't rely on just those approval to say that that's it. Since I got my green card, I'm not gonna get interview anymore. No, the interview is gonna happen when you go to renew your green card, okay? Because those green cards are conditional. So we have people who have been married for more than 2 years getting their green card. You know, those green card usually get there after 3 years, but now they're getting their green card. That's an exception, we're saying. And we're seeing as well those a lot of expedited things are happening. Maybe because as I said before, the offices are being open again, but the capacity to accommodate all those people for in-person interview are still something that they have to have a system in place. Maybe when they're adjusting their offices, accommodating people, complying with CDC guidelines, they are getting some things that are in the pipeline, things that are those applications that have been there forever, like trying to get those applications out of the way. That's what we're saying. So we have DACA, for instance. It's taking 1 month now to get approved. For the green card, we have I-90, which is the green card renewal. It's taking less than a month. So some people are just getting the green card right away. That's a good news. Then we have those, as I said before, we have those those N400 application interviews being waived. Those are great news. And we know that for employment-based, those I-765 employment-based applications, we know that back in the days, there were no interview for those forms. But now, since the Trump administration policies changed, we came to realize that people have to do those interviews. But since this COVID-19 crisis, this pandemic has helped out a lot in a way that now they're just approving it without those interviews, okay? So it's case by case basis. That's what I'll say, okay? If you hear green card, marriage green card interview being waived, case by case basis. If you have questions, don't hesitate to call our office, email us, follow us on Facebook, or please comment below, and we'll come with more once we get more information, okay? Again, my name is Bijou Ngwanda. I'm a immigration attorney in the DC metropolitan area. I'm going to leave the link below from our website. If you want to contact us for a free consultation, just please remember, call our office and we will schedule you for a Zoom. If you don't want in-person consultation, we'll schedule you for a Zoom consultation, as well as anything else we have to offer. Okay, that was it for today's video. It's just great news we have to celebrate, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.